evening and welcome to the main news. I am Tadiro Manamiki with Peace Social Media at the Sign Language Desk.
My name is Joyce Mabika. Later on, Dora Nube will join us from our Montreux studios in Laoyu. We start off with our leading stories tonight.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa praises the ruling party for providing effective leadership to the government this year.
In business, 50,000 new taxpayers registers as Zimbabwe targets to collect over $7 billion United States dollars next year.
And in sport, new home for the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League unveiled in Borrowdale.
Let's now take a look at this and more stories in detail. ZANU-PF President and First Secretary, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, has praised the ruling party for providing diligent and effective leadership to government and the entire nation this year.
He was addressing the 380th ordinary session of the ZANU-PF Politburo at the party headquarters in Harare this Thursday. Our chief correspondent, Ruben Barwe, gives us more details.
The 380th Politburo meeting held in Harare gave an icing on a year the ruling ZANU-PF party reflects on the road covered to achieve the goals enunciated by the party. There was a minute of silence in respect of the late former Vice President, Comrade Pelekezela Mpoko. The President, Comrade Emmerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa, who is the First Secretary of the party, said the mudslinging being seen among party cadres should stop.
It is disheartening to note the unbecoming levels of mudslinging and other counter-revolutionary tendencies, including the broadcasting of party issues on social media platforms. This is most unfortunate. These acts continue to cause discord and confusion among the membership base. No one who loves the party must put our party into disrepute. This is unacceptable. Such behavior cannot be tolerated and it must stop.
The First Secretary said tomorrow he is expected to launch the new land tenure system in this country at his precab farm in Kwekwe.
As we consolidate the gains of our land reform, the program is envisaged to bolster the land ownership model and enhance access to financing, as well as to encourage production and productivity.
The party's First Secretary was also full of praise of the Chitepo ideological school.
I commend the party and the Herbert Chitepo School of Ideology for facilitating training and capacity building for the members of the Youth League through the ongoing partnership with Julius Nyerere School of Leadership.
Despite the illegal Western sanctions, Zimbabwe had scored great on the economic front, notwithstanding the vagaries of the climate change.
Despite the weighty and retarding effects of the heinous illegal sanctions on our country, we have scored numerous success milestones during the year towards the modernization, industrialization, and the growth of our economy. The iron and the steel endeavor was a most welcome initiative in Kwekwe, Midlands. It stands as a reminder to the party, government, and other stakeholders in the sector to quickly adapt and innovate as we revitalize this important industry of our nation.
Well done to Madame Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah of SWAP of Namibia. Comrade Mnangagwa wished all party members a happy Christmas and New Year, also realizing that the 22nd of December is around the corner for the Unity Day celebrations. Ruben Barwe, ZBC News, Harare.
A special envoy from Zambia has paid a courtesy call on ZACC chairperson, President Emmerson Mnangagwa, with the focus on issues of mutual interest. Josephine Mugio with that report.
This morning, President Emmerson Mnangagwa met with a special envoy from the Republic of Zambia, the former vice president of that nation, His Honor Enoch Kavindele. Coming out of the closed-door meeting, His Honor said they spoke about a number of issues and they were here to consult with the president as the SADC chairperson. The former vice president of Zambia said the two neighboring countries are privileged to have a SADC chairperson who is dedicated to regional issues and well-versed with the shared history of Zimbabwe and Zambia.
Zambia and Zimbabwe are so gifted that we have a dedicated man in Zimbabwe who knows where we've come from as chair. So I just came here with my team for consultations. Last time I was here, we were seeking his support for a Zambian who want to be president of the African Development Bank. And indeed, the president assisted us, and that man has since been endorsed by SADC.
After his meeting with the Zambian Special Envoy, President Mnangagwa swore in commissioners from the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Services, the Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission, as well as the Zimbabwe Independent Complaints Commission. First to be sworn in was Mr. Kudakwashe Muchena, who joins the Zimbabwe Independent Complaints Commission, with the rest of the members having been sworn in earlier this year. Next in line was Mr. Martin Muduva, who joins the Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission. 6 commissioners from the Zimbabwe Prisons and Correctional Service Commission, Messrs. Simon Madzimure, Albert Mandinika, Stanley Kondongwe, Utlwile Slaigwana, and Mrs. Chipo Mandela, as well as Mrs. Rosemary Kanonge, were also sworn in by the President. ZPCS commissioners are aware of their mandates to improve operations at the country's prisons, as enunciated by Mr. Slaigwana.
We will also get information on those areas that need quick, immediate attention from the Commissioner General, and then we'll take it up from there. But generally, our mandate is spelled out in Section 231, speaks to us ensuring that there's efficiency, there's proficiency.
Mr. Mchena and Mr. Mduva are also clear of their mandate at the Independent Complaints Commission and the Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission.
I'm there to represent the entire psychology fraternity in Zimbabwe. For a very long time, mental health issues have never been a part of the discourse in terms of commissions, but I think this is the first commission that we see especially psychologists being on the panel so that they represent issues that has to do with mental health issues around issues to do with trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and so forth.
Mission is very clear and well prescribed in the Constitution, and it doesn't need any negotiation. But the leeway that we have is to strategize and re-strategize to ensure that we remain adaptive in terms of the dynamics of the ecosystem.
The country has various commissions established in line with the Constitution of Zimbabwe, whose role is to oversee the running of departments under their wing. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News, State House.
Meanwhile, energy projects to generate 4,000 megawatts of power will commence next year as the country targets to become the energy hub of Southern Africa. This came out during the inaugural Ministers Meet the Media Forum in Harare this Thursday.
Zimbabwe has been grappling with the power challenges this year, which has pushed government through ZACC Holdings to come up with initiatives to increase power output. An inaugural platform for cabinet ministers and government departments to engage the media in Harare this Thursday saw ZACC Holdings Executive Chairperson Dr. Sydney Gata revealing that Zimbabwe will be an energy hub of the region, as project expected to generate 4,000 megawatts will take off early next year.
As of today, we actually have 18 new power stations, either already under construction or will within 2025, they will have commenced construction. These are not plans, these are not licenses, these are actual investments. They would aggregate to 4,000 600 megawatts, which is roughly three times our maximum demand at the moment. The results will start to show by the middle of next year for projects that actually started before June of this year. But by December 2025, there will be an additional 2,000 megawatts of new capacity that will be brought on the Zimbabwe power system.
Investment missions across the globe attracted companies from United Arab Emirates and China for manufacturing of equipment and cables needed for power infrastructure.
In the same philosophy of engaging the private sector to play a part in primary infrastructure development, we also took stock of the materials that we need for distribution, transmission, and off-grid systems, and discovered that we could actually manufacture these materials in Zimbabwe.
The Minister of Energy and Power Development, Honorable Edgar Moyo, said government has no appetite of selling power in United States dollars.
Does government have plans to sell power in US dollars? The answer is no. We are in a multi-currency environment, and we want to maintain that. Until there's a policy change.
The Cabinet Ministers Meet the Media platform has been created by the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services to highlight projects being undertaken by the Second Republic. Ministers who attended this Thursday's forum include the Minister of National Housing and Social Amenities, Honorable James Soda, Minister of Women Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprises Development, Senator Monica Mchangwa, Minister of Energy and Power Development, Honorable Edgar Moyo, and Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Jennifer Mswere, and his deputy, Honorable Ompile Marupi, as well as other senior government officials. Bruce Chawanda, SABC News, Harare.
47 shortlisted candidates who are vying for vacant Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission ZACC posts were publicly interviewed this Thursday at the new Parliament building in Mount Hampden.
The interviews come after the expiry of the terms of the current commissioners, marking a pivotal moment for ZACC's future. The process began with a public call for nominations as required by Section 237, subsection 1 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe. The Committee on Standing Rules and Orders received overwhelming response of 145 nominations, comprising of 112 men and 33 women. 47 candidates were subsequently shortlisted after screening. The list of contenders has a number of former legislators such as Gabriel Chaiva, Meya Wajgajena, Tongai Matutu, Kindness Paradza, and Zalera Makari. The diverse lineup also includes religious leaders, individuals from the legal fraternity, retired military personnel, academics, and various other professionals, as well as community leaders. 12 candidates will be recommended to President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who will appoint 8 commissioners. The chairperson is selected separately by the president. The tenure of the 8 ZACC members sworn in 2019 is expiring soon. The chairperson, Michael Reza, who was appointed earlier this year, will remain in office. Section 255 of the Constitution gives ZACC the power to investigate and expose corruption in public and private sectors. The mandate includes combating theft, misappropriation, and abuse of power, promoting honesty, financial discipline, and transparency, receiving public complaints and directing police investigations, as well as referring cases to the National Prosecuting Authority for prosecution. Specifics include at least 1 legal practitioner, 1 public accountant or auditor, and an individual with at least 10 years of crime investigation experience. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
The elderly community in Gweru is the latest to benefit from the First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa's philanthropic works after receiving a consignment of goodies for Christmas this Thursday. Tafara Chukumira gives us more details.
The latest donation by the First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, comes after another similar program on Monday, which saw orphanages and some vulnerable groups receiving foodstuffs and gifts, bringing a smile on their faces this festive season. The First Lady extended the gesture to the elderly in the Seat of Progress.
Ndinotanga ndatenda shumba chikara kuti vakagona kuroora vakaroora vamamoyo vatinova nhasi tingangotaura kuti ndivo mai Maria vakazvara Jesu nokuti chido chavo chatiratidza kuti vane vanhu pahana vanogona kuchengeta.
Tinobonga mai vatipfunga vatipa chokudya isu zvirema vamwe mapofu vamwe zvii zvose zvinotambura zviri muno mukati menyika, asi ivo mai samai vemhuri mai vevana vasingashari kuti mwana upi kana upi vanopa.
Ndinotinda zvikuru kuna vamamoyo vachirera nherera kuti vatipa Christmas tiwanawo zvokunanzvira paChristmas.
Midlands Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Owen Ngwe, who handed over the food consignment on behalf of the First Lady, commended the Mother of the Nation for her compassion.
On behalf of the Midlands Province, and indeed on my behalf, I wish to thank our award-winning First Lady of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa Vamamoyo Shirera Nerera, for her passionate, consistent, and timely donation at the time the entire nation prepares to celebrate Christmas and New Year.
The First Lady, through her Angel of Hope Foundation, is pursuing various charitable works to improve people's livelihoods countrywide. Tafara Chikumira, ZACC News, Gweru.
As Zimbabwe experiences a significant increase in tourism numbers and economic transformation, there is conviction among travelers that the multi-pronged approach to turn around the tourism sector is paying dividends. More from Providence Maranelli.
With the tourism sector still basking in the glory of a successful Zimbo campaign, the United Nations Tourism Gastronomy Conference, and setting up of billboards in the neighboring South Africa, there is conviction the country has finally turned the corner in the promoting destination Zimbabwe. The enthusiasm and the joy written all over travelers' faces at the Beitbridge border post demonstrates a successful government approach in making Zimbabwe a destination of choice.
So yeah, we are very excited.
So funga fika follows nase maswingo create Zimbabwe.
Lonyaka kuhle kakhulu kuyashesha sithabile kakhulu.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism and Hospitality Industry, Dr. Takaruza Mnyanyiwa, who is leading the meet and greet domestic tourism campaign in Beitbridge, says they are expecting more than 2.8 million domestic tourists this festive season.
For the first time, we also have Zimbabwe, we now have billboards in South Africa promoting. And the first generation was when we were promoting the gastronomy. And now again, we are promoting the Travel Zimbabwe experience. It's a wholesome experience that would like our people to travel. Domestic tourism contributes a lot.
Zimbabwe has already surpassed its target of a $5 billion United States tourism industry by 2025 after robust marketing and promotion of the sector. The rehabilitation of the road network and upgrading of key infrastructure have also provided a safe and efficient way for tourists to consider the country as a destination of choice. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Beitbridge.
The government has been on a drive to support the Civil Aviation Authority of Zimbabwe, which has modernized its aviation infrastructure whilst making strides in updating its financial statements for this year. Owen Mandova gives us more details.
The aviation regulator's leading role in providing safe and secure skies is becoming prominent given the country's growing aviation industry. Starting with updating its outdated financial statements, the CARS board has overseen robust investments and capital expenditure into modern aviation infrastructure, much to the satisfaction of the International Civil Aviation Organization.
The radars, they were old, that the government has facilitated. We have got a new one, which makes our job very easy. And we are actually up to speed with the global world, should I say. Then we had the DVOR. That one also is a new equipment which was brought in. the air traffic control system, all those, they take us a long way, really. That's why we're achieving all these results which we are achieving.
An annual general meeting held in Harare Thursday reviewed much ground has been covered to revive the parastatals' fortunes.
The AGM which we've just held, this is the second one, the same year of 2024, because the accounts were actually behind. So as the new board, we are saying, let's start to take some corrective measures so that we are compliant as a regulator. As a regulator, we are regulating airports company, NHS, Air Zimbabwe, National Handling Services. All those people, we regulate them. So we have to live by example.
The regulator has set targets to regularize its financial statements by next year in conformity with corporate governance principles. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
The Commander-in-Chief of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, President Emmerson Mnangagwa, has promoted 3 senior ZDF officers from the rank of Brigadier General to Major General. An Air Force of Zimbabwe officer has been promoted from Air Commodore to Air Vice Marshal. More from Peter Chivima.
The newly promoted senior officers include Major General Augustine Chipwere, Major General Josephat Kudumba, Major General Simo Maseko, and Air Vice Marshal Selewale Masera, conferring the new insignia of rank. Commander Zimbabwe Defense Forces General Philip Valerius Banda implored them to be exemplary.
We are happy that you are joining us in the higher ranks of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. This is a very well-deserved recognition, not only by the Commander-in-Chief, but also by the people of Zimbabwe through him, for the work that we have done since the War of Liberation to post-independent Zimbabwe, where you have continued to give your best to the defense of our country so that our people can continue to enjoy peace, our people can go about their day-to-day activities knowing that we are there to protect them.
The newly promoted senior officers, represented by Major General Maseko, pledged to add value to the Zimbabwe Defense Forces.
In our capacities and capabilities, we stand resolute in defending the gains of our independence and pledge to continue maintaining the existing tranquility conducive for peace and development.
The promotions are with effect from the 20th of last month. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
The government is strengthening digital transformation within the media industry as a catalyst to enhancing the competitiveness of the sector. Theophilus Chuma reports.
Digital platforms are offering dynamic opportunities for the media industry through new ways of packaging and delivering news. Mass media company Zimpepers Private Limited unveiled its digital transformation roadmap in Harare this Thursday, an initiative expected to unlock value for both the consumer and the organization. The era of digital transformation provides a perfect conduit for newsrooms to creatively integrate social media platforms into the newsmaking process, according to Information Publicity and Broadcasting Services Minister, Dr. Jenfen Muskwere.
The traffic, the content, the circulation relates to the population. The business model's transformation has to change. So 4 key components in order to allow the total transformation and continuous improvement and also the restructuring of the institution is the business transformation of Zimpepers. The restructuring is currently underway. The cultural transformation in that it has to relate with the population, the readership. The behavioral transformation of the people, the board management and the staff, in that the 4th Industrial Revolution is upon us, and therefore we have to adopt or we risk the failure of the institution.
Through the National Development Strategy 1, the digital economy subsector is cited as a critical pillar for development. increasing internet access is driving economic and social development in Africa.
A number of infrastructure, policy, and legislative initiatives have been put in place in order to support a fully functional and sustainable digital economy.
To support the growth of digital transformation, government announced an artificial intelligence AI strategy through a cabinet resolution adopted this Tuesday. Theophilus Chuma, ZBC News, Harare.
You're watching the main news. Remember, these and more stories are also available on our website. You can visit www.zbcnews.co.zw. You can also link up with us on various social media platforms. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. We are ZBC News Online.
Indeed, and now for stories still to come, starting in business. 50,000 new taxpayers registered as Zimbabwe targets to collect over $7 billion United States dollars next year. And in sport, new home for Castle Lager Premier Soccer League unveiled in Borodale. On that note, we take a break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Zimbabwe, 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 trouble Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe nyika ine ukoshwa, inzwa inini papaloshwa. Uya uchiwonere kukari pakuleki, tinenge tichitafuna hove dzine steki. Tisingakanganwe chinhu ikune makefsi mapako. Nedzimba dzemawe dziri deya kumasvingo. Kona rezvouwange national park, hapana chekumirira. Ataki. Uchichoka kwekuyenda, nekamari kekuspenda. Zimbabwe, 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 trouble Zimbabwe. For the perfect adventure, no need to look any further. Zimbabwe, 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 trouble Zimbabwe. Kana makuyenda kuzambezi, moyo unorwadza mukanishaisa chesi. Anga mutarazi, fouskuma komoyo unotosimba hana wanzi nemafaro hokoyo. Kuzoti chikafu, chacho chinozipa. Dangoma veggie nemagaka. Enjoy the exquisite gastronomy as you taste the Zimbabwean story. Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe. Everybody gets a Zimbabwe, 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 travel Zimbabwe. Travel Zimbabwe this festive season. Zimbo.
The promotion season is here and you could be the next lucky winner. Join the Transact Uzobona promotion and win big. Simply use your NBS dual currency debit card to transact for USD $15, ZACC equivalents or more to stand an opportunity to win exciting prizes.
The wait is over. Transact with your NBS dual currency debit card now. Kadi rinocheka kwese ku ZACC neku USD and win instant prizes for swiping at any NBS merchant partners. Be the lucky winner of the promotion and win instant cash prizes for transacting with NBS dual currency debit card anywhere and in any shop. It is Transact Uzobona, your special early Christmas gift.
The Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation is seeking a commercially astute and visionary chief executive officer with the highest level of integrity to lead the organization into the next phase of transformation. The ideal candidate should have a proven track record of business transformation, high business acumen, a strong digital aptitude, and the ability to identify and mitigate risks.
Success in this role hinges on a strong foundation in effective corporate governance, a deep understanding of business strategy, innovation, digital transformation, and customer centricity.
Closing date for applications is 3 January 2025. For more details, visit our website www.zbc.co.zw.
Life is a precious gift, more precious than silver and gold. Parties and alcohol, with road traffic accidents happening every 15 minutes and at least one person dying every 4 hours in Zimbabwe every day. More die over weekends and public holidays. Take heed. Remember your loved ones. Don't drink and drive this festive season. This message is brought to you by the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Women Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprises Development has signed a memorandum of understanding with their Zambian counterparts for SMEs development. More on this report from Festus Mukungurute.
The agreement between the two parties seeks to establish a framework for cooperation to capacitate micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs and cooperatives in Zimbabwe and Zambia.
Through these partnerships, we aim to create a conducive environment for MSMEs and the cooperatives to thrive, drive economic growth and job creation and poverty reduction in both our countries. I would like to express my gratitude to the government of the Republic of Zimbabwe for their commitment to this partnership. I am confident that our collaboration will yield tangible benefits for our citizens and contribute to the integration of our economies.
This partnership is poised to unlock new trade and investment opportunities by promoting joint ventures across various sectors, thereby enhancing economic growth. By engaging in joint research initiatives and leveraging existing international and regional agreements, we will amplify with visibility of our goods and services.
The Zambian delegation is in Zimbabwe on a benchmarking program to gain meaningful insights into the development of MSMEs and cooperatives that will guide future initiatives in their country. Festus Mukunguru says ZBC News, Harare.
We now cross over to our Montrose studios where Dora Ngluwe is on standby to give us the rest of the bulletin. Good evening, Dora.
Thank you so much, Tari and Joyce, for taking us on. A lovely evening to you, and of course a lovely evening to our viewers. We continue with the main news. The nation has been rallied to preserve and uphold the principles of the Unity Accord, which are key in promoting unity of purpose and advancing inclusive development.
With the nation set to celebrate Unity Day on the 22nd of this month, government has called on citizens to safeguard the principles of the Unity Accord, signed in 1987, which are relevant in advancing the spirit of national development.
It's very key and very important to respect that unity, especially in Zimbabwe. We need to work in unity. Divided, we shall all perish, but united, we will all stand.
As critically important, sonke sibambane, sazane, sithandane, sibumba ilizwe. Noma ngene kumonda bese sithi ilizwe lakhiwa ngabanikazi balo. Abanikazi balo kumele sibathole kanjani bebambene besebenza bonke.
Church leaders also added their voice.
Nxa sibambene kulula ukusebenzisana. Nxa sibambene kulula ukuthi siye phambili. Nxa sibambene kulula futhi sinqobe. Nxa sibambene kulula ukuthi abasibonayo phandle le bebone ukuthi iZimbabwe ngokwayo ilabantu ababambeneyo.
The Unity Accord was signed in 1987 by the country's founding fathers, late former President Robert Mugabe, and the late Vice President Dr. Joshua Mqabugongom. This year, the country marks 37 years since the signing of the Unity Accord, which brought lasting peace and unity in the country. Lisa Masoko, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The Protection Department in Beitbridge has rescued 4 suspected smugglers who spent over 10 hours marooned on an island in the Limpopo River this Thursday.
Wednesday, the 18th of December, might be a day not to remember for 11 people who suddenly found themselves stuck between Zimbabwe and South Africa after they failed to cross the swollen Limpopo River. A visit to the illegal crossing point by this news crew revealed an unrehearsed script of brother-in-law throwing food across to save the hungry relative.
ndanzwa nevakomana vangu ari papakistam yandauya kutora umwe munhu anga ari patera kanzi kune vanhu vari kumhero kochichi ndikatomboenda kulocation saka kulocation ndokwandazondoudza kuti umwe munhu ari kumhiri ndanzwa sekuti nditsano vakawanda ivavo ndobva ndatoti regai ndiende nechikafu ndabva ndaronongedzedzerwa pavanga vari uyu muchinda waya nemusika wairapa uyu saka mheno kuda nezvinhu zvaakandotora kumhiri achida kuya kunookere kana kuti ane musika uri kulocation.
Beitbridge Civil Protection Unit Chairperson Mrs. Kangezile Mafumo disclosed that they have rescued 4 people while 4 others managed to swim across the river.
When we sent a team comprising of ZRP and ZNA, which is the Search and Rescue Subcommittee of the District Civil Protection Committee, to make an assessment, they found out that there were 4 people who were still marooned by that time. And when they got there, they received the news that the 4 had moved out of the water. So all efforts were tried to assist the remaining 4 up until today in the morning, when the team then managed to rescue out the remaining 4.
Beitbridge received a substantial amount of rainfall on Wednesday, which saw most water bodies filling up. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Beitbridge.
Bulawayo residents have thrown their weight behind the Broadcasting Services Amendment Bill, citing the central role it will play in the production of creative content.
The public hearing of the recently gazetted broadcasting amendment held in Bulawayo this Thursday was attended by civic organizations and ordinary citizens. With most people supporting Clause 15 and 16, which speaks to the funding of the national broadcaster ZBC through provisions that prohibit the sale of motor insurance cover to persons without a ZBC car radio license.
National broadcaster is a strategic institution to protect a national interest. So ZBC, as our conduit, as a national broadcaster, needs protection, needs revenue, and it actually is our mode to create our national identity. So in this aspect, I fully support this bill.
It's going to promote a heritage-based broadcasting.
Kungavale mali. You know, if you put money in our football here, you can all play like Barcelona. If you put money in broadcasting, you can all be like DSTV, all of you here. So that's what is missing. The money must come.
Support ZBC. To support our national broadcaster yemuno Zimbabwe. Nekuti apana need to support zvekunze stream muno Zimbabwe. Let's be patriotic. Support zvedu. Right, pama collection of funds. Pane vanhu vanofarira bhora panapa. I think it is ZBC sabudisa bhora pa ZBC. Inyaya yekuti havana ma rights, havana mari yekutenga ma rights ekubudisa bhora ramunoda iroro.
Citizens of Bulawayo, we are saying this bill should sail through with deserved content from ZBC.
So I'm supporting this bill because izayenza ukuthi abantu and we divert attention from izinto ezi international. Siphenduke ku local content. Sihlale sibukele. Of course, I've heard a lot of my mates, they say, hi, is ZBC iyabhowa. Kumbe vele radio angilaleli. I-radio awulaleli because apparently sithi kuyabhowa and but okwenza ukuthi kubhowe is because they do not have ama-funds ukuze besinike i-content.
Chairperson of the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Media, Information and Broadcasting Services, Honorable Caston Mateo, gave insights into the next stages after the public hearings.
Noted all the opinions that they had down, and from now we continue with our tour to 2 other places before we then put together our report, which we will then table in Parliament for debate.
The Broadcasting Services Amendment Bill was gazetted in November. Lisa Masuku, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
And all that's it from us here at Montrose. Joyce and Terry, it's back to you.
Indeed, thank you very much for that, Dora. We continue with the main news from our Pocket Hill studios. The Civil Aviation Amendment Bill, which is meant to align Zimbabwean standards with international best practice, was presented before the Senate this Thursday during the Upper House's question and answer session. Fiestes Mukungurutse gives us more.
The bill tabled by Transport and Infrastructural Development Minister Honorable Felix Mona seeks to amend the Civil Aviation Act to comply with the International Civil Aviation Organization standards.
The purpose of this bill is to amend the Civil Aviation Act, Chapter 13, 16, to achieve the following principal objectives. That is to address gaps in the Act that were identified by ICAO, audit held in 2019, to align the Act to the Public Entities and Corporate Governance Act, Chapter 1031, and to correct the sharing between the Civil Aviation Authority of Zimbabwe and the Airports Company of Zimbabwe, limited from 90% to 10% and from 67.5% to 32.5% ratio.
Members of Senate also took time to review the bill.
Generally, Zimbabwe has had a good track record when we look at civil aviation over the years, and that has been quite good, and thanking the Minister for that as well. When I look at the Act, it seeks to strengthen the safety issues with regards to civil aviation in this country. I saw that there's going to be a committee set up which will be in charge of safety and security standards in civil aviation, which will do investigations whenever there is accidents or look at best practices and safety standards which are regional and international.
Nyaya pachirungu civil aviation kufamba kumuchadenga uko ihuru kudarika zvatoona, haisi nyaya yeZimbabwe chete, inyaya kuti dzimwe ndege dzingatoramba kusvika muno muZimbabwe kana chinhu chisina kurongeka. Ichi vanofanira kuvimba kuti Zimbabwe ine urongwa hwakanaka hwekuti tikaenda nendege dzedu ikoko zvomuchadenga zvakarongeka.
Government, through the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructural Development, has committed to establishing a safe and sustainable air transport system in line with international standards. Festus Mkonguru says ZBC News, Harare.
As part of efforts to preserve the country's rich cultural heritage, the Ministry of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, through the National Museums and Monuments of Zimbabwe, has embarked on an ambitious plan to document, preserve and promote liberation history.
Speaking at the National Museums and Monuments of Zimbabwe Strategic Planning Workshop in Harare this Thursday, Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage Minister Honorable Kazembe Kazembe emphasized the importance of preserving the history of Zimbabwe's struggle for independence, including the roles played by regional countries such as Mozambique, Zambia, Botswana, Angola, and Tanzania. He revealed the ministry has adopted a multifaceted approach to achieve this goal, including developing memoranda of understanding with neighboring countries, engaging local communities in preserving liberation heritage sites, investing in human resources, and leveraging on digital technologies to promote Zimbabwe's liberation heritage.
As we embark on this noble endeavor, we pay tribute to the brave men and women who fought tirelessly for our freedom. We recognize the sacrifices made by our ancestors, whose resilience and determination paved the way for our independence. Our liberation heritage is a testament to the unwavering spirit and a reminder of the importance of preserving our history for future generations.
Minister Kazembe also met the reconstituted Board of Trustees of the National Museums and Monuments of Zimbabwe, tasked with preserving and promoting the country's cultural heritage. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
Meanwhile, government ministries and departments are harnessing digital technology to enhance efficiency, transparency, and enable citizens' participation in government programs. John Nandara has more.
As the country embraces the fourth industrial revolution, local ministries and government departments are adopting digital and online tools that align with national objectives and the country's economic blueprint, the National Development Strategy 1. The latest is the Ministry of Skills Audit and Development, which has since developed a website aimed at driving the skills revolution to accelerate implementation of the country's industrialization and modernization agenda.
The establishment of this website comes at a very opportune time as we navigate the complexities of rapidly changing labor markets, a dynamic that demands skilling, reskilling of our people so that they can remain relevant on the job market.
The website will include tools for users to assess their skills, identify gaps, and find appropriate training opportunities. Additionally, it offers real-time updates on vocational education programs and initiatives spearheaded by the ministry, aiming to capacitate the workforce in response to the evolving job market. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
And that report taking us to a break. We'll be back shortly with business news.
Christmas is coming to town. Dashing through the aisles, specials all around. Wow. Children all in smiles when they hear the sound. No one can resist, no need for shopping lists. There is so much goodness here, you'd be silly to miss. Jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to shop. Everybody needs a little time away. I heard her say from each other. After all that we've been through, I will make it up to you. I promise to.
The Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation is seeking a commercially astute and results-oriented commercial services director to lead the commercial operations of the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation, ZACC. The ideal candidate should have strong financial acumen, proven experience in driving revenue growth, and a deep understanding of the broadcasting industry's commercial landscape. Closing date for applications is 3 January 2025. For more details, visit our website www.zbc.co.zw.
Shark on the line.
He took my fish.
Did you see that? I just was like, what?
I really want you to find someone nice who would mean the world to you and make you so happy.
Bernardo Silva, Stones, Foden, a little bit of time. Oh, what a shot! What a goal! What a player!
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We now give you the business news. Zimbabwe's domestic resource mobilization drive has received a major boost after 50,000 new taxpayers were registered this year, with authorities setting a $7 billion United States dollar revenue target for 2025. Stanley James gives us more.
Taxpayers who paid their taxes and custom duties in full were honored in Harare Wednesday night. Zimbabwe Revenue Authority ZIMRA Commissioner General Ms. Regina Chinamasa revealed an increased taxpayer base this year.
In 2024, we have done, I think, over 50,000 taxpayers we have registered. And going into the next year, the emphasis is really probably to tap into the informal sector. So we haven't put in a number per se, but we are looking at a percentage to say if you can do 25%. Yeah, it's a stretching target, but it is. We believe it is doable.
Taxpayers who were presented with compliance awards pledged a commitment to work with the government.
I feel honored. I feel honored because I can see that the little that we contribute is being appreciated by the government.
It is for your own benefit to be compliant. One, there are some benefits that you get, like it's easier to get loans from the bank because they always check that record that you are a compliant customer.
In a speech read on his behalf by ZIMRA Board Chairperson Mr. Anthony Mandwanza, Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion Minister Professor Mjoli praised compliant taxpayers.
Taxes provide critical revenue which the government uses to fund public goods and services, such as infrastructure, education, and health care. Our tax structure is progressive, so it redistributes wealth. Through taxes, we regulate economic growth and prevent economic shocks.
Due to limited access of loans and grants from external financiers, Treasury is depending on domestic taxes as a source of income to sustain development projects across the country. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
And that's our business update, taking us straight to the arts. A government has launched the Intangible Cultural Heritage Project to document Zimbabwean cultural values and practices in order to preserve local traditions.
The project, a collaboration between the government of Zimbabwe and UNESCO, will run for 2 years from 2025 to 2026, with government confident the project will go a long way in preserving the country's intangible cultural heritage. Deputy Minister of Sport, Recreation, Arts and Culture, Honorable Emily Jesiah, says more needs to be done to raise awareness on the importance of safeguarding intangible cultural heritage.
Our intangible cultural heritage is a vital part of our identity, and it plays a significant role in promoting cultural diversity, social cohesion, and economic development.
Deputy Minister of Primary and Secondary Education, Honorable Angeline Gata, spoke on government's initiatives to promote cultural preservation through education.
Mwana unokwanisa kuchuza kuketa kuti ungade kuita chini topic yaangaita ototora kana chinyari chiano.
Traditional leaders also welcomed the launch of the program.
We welcome this development and pledge our commitment to see the realization of this project to its completion for the benefit of our people and communities.
In 2003, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, adopted the Convention for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage. The convention recognizes the importance of intangible cultural heritage, which includes traditions, customs, languages, music, dance, and other forms of cultural expression. These are passed on from generation to generation. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
We take a break, but when we come back, Anna Shimorombedzi will be giving us the sports. Stay tuned.
The Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation is seeking a commercially astute and visionary chief executive officer with the highest level of integrity to lead the organization into the next phase of transformation. The ideal candidate should have a proven track record of business transformation, high business acumen, a strong digital aptitude, and the ability to identify and mitigate risks.
Success in this role hinges on a strong foundation in effective corporate governance, a deep understanding of business strategy, innovation, digital transformation, and customer centricity.
Closing date for applications is 3 January 2025. For more details, visit our website www.zbc.co.zw.
To our cherished viewers, this is an official invitation to the biggest festive celebration. Let's go! From the 13th of December to the 6th of January. It's astonishing! Accept the invitation when you press play on endless entertainment at home or wherever you are. Oh, snap! With DSTV Stream at no extra cost. T's and C's apply, because this festive, everyone's invited. DSTV, your home of entertainment.
Get your business ready for the festive season with ZBC. Join us for the ZBC Mega Festive Business Promotion running from the 1st of November of 2024 all the way to January 31 of 2025. Enjoy an incredible cash discount of over 50% across all ZBC platforms. This is your opportunity to make your business shine. So celebrate with ZBC and watch your business thrive by simply booking your spot right now. For more information, call Tandeka on 0719 594 426 or Martha on 0719 593 532 or Precious on 0719 593 510 or email tandeka.mubi@zbc.co.zw. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to the Sports Corner. Anna Shambrombed's here with the latest in the world of sport. Now, the Casalaga Premier Soccer League has taken a giant step towards establishing a permanent home after unveiling a 1,400-hectare piece of land in Borodo, Harare this Thursday.
The land was acquired through the efforts of the PSL board and governors and its executive committee. This marks the first time the PSL has acquired its own land since its inception over 3 decades ago. PSL chairperson Farai Jere outlined the vision for the new headquarters.
What we are going to do is we are going to have our state-of-the-art offices, we are going to have a football pitch, we are going to have a conference center, and we are also going to have apartments. And our office is also going to encompass women football, because we are also going to incorporate them in this place here.
PSL Chief Executive Officer Kennedy Ndebele is equally excited about the new development.
We then realized that it's important for us to invest and have our own premises. In terms of growth, you need to have your own piece of land where you can put up structures.
Harare Mayor Councillor Jacob Mafume pledged the city's support for the project.
It's good for sporting disciplines to create a sports economy, employment, jobs, and the downstream benefits to the economy and to the city are too many to mention, and that's what we are looking for. We need to make sure that our Premier League is part and parcel of those high-earning leagues in Africa.
Construction of the new PSL headquarters is expected to commence early next year. The development is seen as a major boost for Zimbabwean football, which aims to become a major player in African football and attract top talent and investment. Meanwhile, the PSL Board of Governors convened an extraordinary general meeting this Thursday to review the just-ended season and prepare for the 2025 Casalaga Premier Soccer League campaign.
Three more aspiring ZIFA presidential candidates, Ngobile Mangwizi, Twine Piri, and Temba Mliswa, face scrutiny after their eligibility was questioned.
The run-in to the eagerly anticipated ZIFA Executive Committee elections is fast turning into a soap opera after three more candidates, businessmen Ngobile Mangwizi, former legislator Temba Mliswa, and former PSO chairperson Twine Piri, saw their candidature being questioned after private individuals wrote to the Ethics Committee questioning their eligibility. This comes a few days after Yada FC owner Prophet Walter Magaya, Northern Region chairperson Martin Kweza, and our former ZIFA board member Philemon Machana faced the same scrutiny. It is again the same modus operandi which has been used, with letters being written to ZIFA Ethics Committee questioning if the trio of Mangwizi, Mliswa, and Piri is suitable for the top post. Sport analyst Marvin Moyo has described the current situation as electioneering. Some of the individuals vying for the ZIFA presidential seat include Marshall Gore of Team UK Zimbabwe, former Warriors captain Benjamin Wareware, and the PSO chairperson of Nigeria. Article 38, paragraph 6 of the new ZIFA statutes said that all members of the executive committee shall not have been previously convicted or sentenced of any offense. The ZIFA Ethics Committee is currently vetting the eligibility and integrity of candidates before announcing the successful candidates on the 23rd of this month. The elections are set for the 25th of January next year. Lawrence Trusida, ZBC News, Harare.
The Chevrons' free-fall continues after the Afghan team thumped them by 232 runs in the second one-day international match at Harare Sports Club this Thursday.
Another day, another disappointing result from the Chevrons. This time, it was a 232-run defeat by Afghanistan, which becomes the Asians' biggest victory margin in one-day international cricket. For the Chevrons, it's another low, which coincidentally is slowly becoming the norm. After being outclassed by Pakistan in Blawa in both the T20s and the ODIs, Zimbabwe followed that up with a disappointing performance against Afghanistan in the just-ended 20-over matches and the current ODI series. Having lost 4 wickets in just 9 overs in the washed-out first ODI, the Chevrons replicated that dismal display, this time losing all 10 wickets for just 54 runs while chasing 286 runs. Zimbabwe's batting card looked more like a phone number, with zeros and ones being the order of the day, as Afghanistan took a 1-0 lead in the 3-match series.
It's obviously, I think when you look at it again, of course, you can probably think there's a lot of things that have gone wrong, but I think one of the things was probably the lack of intent that we showed, I think, throughout our batting innings. I thought we could have been maybe a little bit more proactive, so it's something that we can look at. And we're still trying to find, what's the right sort of combination within the batting order. So there are a few things that we are looking at to try and work out and maybe try and change to see if we can try and get some sort of rhythm going with our batting, which we've been missing for a while now.
19-year-old bowler Newman Nyamuri, who got his first chance to show his skills after failing to get a ball in the washed-out first match, was the only player to come up with his head held up high after picking 3 wickets in his allotted 10 overs, while his seniors struggled. The two teams are back again at Harare Sports Club this Saturday for the decider of the 3-match ODI series. Lawrence Trusida, ZBC News, Harare.
That's it from the Sports Corner. Ladies, it's back to you.
Indeed, thank you very much for that update, Anashe. And on that note, we call it a day, or rather a night. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.